We are just starting, and thank you so much for being here. Let's begin with a short intention, because the theme of the day, it is working your light. Tomorrow we'll summarize a little bit how to use the codes, and we'll have the final attunement for healing. It's downloading the healing template or upgrading the one you already have. And we're also going to work on the third eye tomorrow. If you have questions or anything, we can do that at the end. And let me know in the comments if you would like to do 10 minutes or 15 minutes of light language altogether at the end. If you guys do want to, maybe the call will be a little bit longer than what we have, like an hour and a half or two, I don't know. Let me know if you would like to do that on the comments, and then we'll go with the flow. So let's just close your eyes and just connect to the light. Ask yourself, the light in me salute the light in the source, the light in your guides. Have you ever thanked your guides to be there? Have you ever said thank you so much, even though I don't listen to you or follow your instructions, or even being aware that you are always there 24/7? And as you salute, as like when we say this namaste, that it means my light honors the light in you. That's a beautiful thing. Imagine that you do that with yourself, and you just begin to send love all around you. You turn your heart becomes a star, and your star begins glowing light all through you, to your skin, to your organs, to all particles of you, every bone, every organ, your soul, your spirit. And that will begin to send love to your guides, to your higher self, your ancestors. Maybe you have someone that passed that it's with you, assisting you, being a bridge, a connection between the spirit world and the human world, and go all the way to God itself. If you could say thank you, just say it in whatever way. And I like to say it in my own words. When I am going to sleep, I always say, higher self, please be activated in me. And when I begin to do that, my whole life change. And I speak as if it's any of you. Sometimes I complain like a human being. Sometimes you're just not in the light, but I still do that. It's a habit that I have been doing since 2016. And when I did that, my whole life just magnified in ways I never expected. So just purchase that belief that you resonate, that habit, saying to your higher self, you are in charge. Sometimes I said, I have really no idea what I do, but I know you know, and I know you are with me. So even though I don't know what I do, what I don't know why I'm here, I know that you know. And I trust you. And I trust me because we're one. And from that point of view, I know that it's all good. And then I said, maybe I don't need to know. Maybe I don't need to investigate as if I am the AVI, every wound, or every relationship in my life, or what the government will do, and what will happen in 24 or 25, or when everyone will know that aliens exist. Maybe I just need to know that there is light in me, that is always available. Sometimes maybe I will know how to communicate. Now I'm very accurate. I feel like I'm 99% or 95 or 90% accurate with clients. And that makes me happy. Because when I am in this broad bifurcation and I don't know what to do, it happens to all of us, I'm human. I said, okay, Gretel, if you're very good with clients, why you shouldn't be good with you? That doesn't make sense. So then I trust that whatever I feel like doing, even when I am doing from the unconscious version of me, it will be okay. But in those moments when I feel like I'm being lost on the collective turmoil, or sucked by the shadow, or confused or anxious or in pain, I said, higher self, please, you're in charge. Lift me up. And then I give to my higher self whatever that feels like burden or heavy. And then my job is to let go. To let go the insistence about trying to fix whatever I have no solution, like the economy of the country, or the difference between persons that think in the new way and likes diversity, and liberals, and the ones that distinguish God traditional and conservative, and all of those opposite forces that pull us all in a lot of hands that just make harder. So I wanted to start by placing myself as a normal person without faking it that I have it all figured out, because I don't. Because it's easier to see what others can do right or wrong. Isn't it easy to see when your family is messing up things? And I want you to know that you are receiving your own downloads. So just listen. Isn't it easy to know in which your neighbors are making mistakes, or politics, or persons on social media? But it's not easy to see what we could do better, isn't it? And this is why when others can come and shed a light on the areas in which we haven't noticed that maybe we're collaborating with karma, or we're just avoiding to do the work. So in which areas you are not aware that you could do better? What difference would it be to watch the news after you just meditate? Because when you just meditate, you feel like a rainbow, like unicorn, and maybe you just did like a 7 minutes meditation. How much difference will be to go through your day knowing that every time you go and meditate, or ground, or go into the sun, or listen to music, or whatever brings peace to you, life feels better? What if you do that before going to Thanksgiving dinner, or to the holidays that may be stressful, or maybe you need to do some requirement in a government office and it's really complicated and you know you're going to get frustrated, or before going into driving a long ride that you may lose yourself or get drained, or negotiate something that you need to do with something important, where you know that it will be conflict. Consciously ask yourself, because I ask this to myself, are you doing really what you should do? Or is it easier to complain and just say, fuck the collective. Oh my God, these people asleep is just messing with the vibe. Would I really leaving myself short on what things I know work for me, but I am not doing them because it requires work. It requires work to choose to wake up at 5 a.m. and go and meditate in the sunshine. But guess what? Maybe that effort, waking up an hour later, will make a whole difference in the rest of the day. Because maybe taking some time to prepare something healthy for you, or to choose to take a nap or meditate before you do something that will require a lot of energy of you, or require to be aware. And it's not easy. But it's not easy because we were not programmed by that. And if you go within, you're going to notice that you have different voices. And memories will come true about things you do. When maybe you eat what you know you shouldn't eat, or you just get lazy a little bit into what you think you need to do. It happens to all of us. I'm sure we all have an inner child trauma. I'm sure we all have things. Mom was short, and father was short, and government was short. And the ones that are around you are not what we expect. But we also have to be honest and acknowledge there are things we also are not our best friend. Times in which we escalate problems and magnify things, being stuck in the loop over and over. And it's part of Earth School. In reality, in the same way you just close your eyes and lost yourself into your meditation, or a video of someone that inspires you, maybe you're an astrologer, or maybe someone who channels Pleiadians, or maybe music, or maybe your practice. Everyone has the same opportunity. But guess what? All the difference is between what you choose, what we see, what we're accustomed to do. And isn't it easy to see solutions in someone else's life? It's easy. It's super easy. And why you think it is easy? It's easy because we're not the one going through that experience. You can empathize, you figure out, I know what that feels like. I had that before, but I'm not having that now, isn't it? So because you and I are not the ones in pain or going through that problem, it's easy to see potentials. But what if it will be the same easy to see potentials that you could do, that you could become, going into the maximum of your potential? Because the only difference it is what you think you're capable of doing. And that happens to me. And that has to do with being of service. When you begin healing persons or doing readings, the first thing that happened to me is what I'm sensing accurate? Does it come from me? Am I reading correctly? Should I say this to this person? Is it the right thing to say? Because you don't have a lot of experience. an experience is going to make the difference between being confident and trust what you sense, or just doing a reading, faking it, faking that you know or whatever, or not taking a time to discern if that was rightful or you should do that. And maybe you'll have examples about persons or people that it wasn't the right thing to do. I remember I had a reading once. It's a person that wanted a drawing and she wanted to pay me with a session, and I did that. She begins to channel in a way that she looks like she was in an exorcism. She just got lost like for 45 minutes and I didn't know what to do. She was saying a lot of things about horses and demons and things from other lifetimes, but I wasn't sure if that related to me. Maybe it did because it came true, but it felt I wasn't in the reading for that. Maybe I wasn't there yet. Maybe it was something in the subconscious. I have no idea. But at the end, it wasn't a taste that I would have wanted. I had another session once. It was another exchange. And it was a twin flame session. And then suddenly, the person got upset and began to say a lot of things I don't know, I could sense from a wound, and I was like, what's going on? Because not at all the things relate to what I was going through. And then I figured out that person was separated and the husband or ex-husband has another one like for 10 years. And then at the end I was like, she mirrored herself, right? And then I say like, well, it's okay. But at the end, it wasn't what I would have wanted. Yes. Everything is in order. Even when things don't give us a great taste, like maybe a relationship you had, maybe something that you purchased, maybe something that you did. But even when things appear like they are mistakes, they are not mistakes. When we take an inventory about what we can do so that doesn't happen anymore. Because you are aware that there are better ways to do that. And when you do that, you shift and transmute something negative into a positive. And for me, I had these 6 months of readings that it wasn't like it was helpful for different scenarios. And after that, I said, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have readings. Maybe I should just risk it and think I will know what I need to do. And then I make the shift. So one circumstance that may not feel like, I didn't like it, could have beautiful, different, bright shifts along the way. Not only for you, also for the other persons that are connected, also for the ones around you that learn from you, also for other aspects of us that are in other lifetimes that get benefit from the healing that we do. So the first thing that I would love for you to reflect is, and I'm doing my own reflection, it's okay to be you, and it's okay to be where you are, because just the way you are perfect. You are the piece of the puzzle that your oversoul and earth needs right now. By being you, you complete that bigger picture. And maybe it is a person that has depression. Maybe it's a person that has alcoholism or it was abuse. But through its own abuse, through its own alcoholism or depression or psychicness or whatever could be the wrong, that can be transformed into something good by the feedback that we provide to the source. Maybe the great good it is that the source says, maybe we shouldn't be having alcoholism anymore in any other plane. And if a lifetime of being alcoholic has that solution into the highest good, I think it's worth it. The price, yes. But now let's talk into the other side of being wrong. What about when you're being right? Because when you're being right, when you do things rightfully, you're also sending feedback to the source by saying, hey, this works. This is good. Look all that I have done. Look all that I have accomplished. And we all know persons that have done things like that, like Jesus, Mahatma Gandhi, or I don't know, Martin Luther King, for example. And maybe it doesn't need to be a saint or a perfect person, right? But it will do something that will bring to the world something that just changed the whole story globally, or maybe just into the ones that you are. Like, for example, maybe Kennedy, because after his speech that encouraged everyone in the US to go to the moon, whether we think that is fake or not, I think it happens in both ways according to the timeline. It changed the story of the United States and the world because it was a mile marker. And I don't think he was a perfect person. Maybe he cheated, maybe he lied, maybe he was lazy. We don't know. But it doesn't matter. Because the goodness, it was so good, it just override light into whatever wrong it could have been wrong. So what I'm saying it is, we will all have flaws. It's the price to be here. Otherwise, we couldn't have a body. You couldn't resonate because you would just be living or floating around in light. Darkness is what anchors us here because it's heavy. Otherwise, it would be like a feather, I think, flowing through the wind in the air. But that would not have been the structure to have a human life. So we choose whatever flaws we want to have according to what we want to learn, knowing that the effort is worth it, and is worth it because the reward is greater. You and I don't remember that. We remember pieces, but we will discover that along the way. Whatever you do, even when you make mistakes, you are giving a greater service to the source, because this is like a job. This is not real. Your name, what you have done, your race, your country, this is just a temporary experience. Like imagine when you go to a vacation, imagine that you go into another city and you rent a hotel. For that day or week or weekend, that hotel is your house, is your home. But that doesn't belong to you, right? It's just a temporary space. But when you are there, it's yours. When you rent, that is your house. And then people will ask you, where do you live? Oh, I live there. But you don't own it, but it doesn't matter because that is imprinted by your essence. And when you leave, someone else will be there and you will be in another place. So this lifetime is like a rented house. We forgot, so we take this very seriously and then we escalate it because it's the rules here. Like for example, if I do boxing, I'm gonna get hit. because it's how the rules are set in boxing. So if I choose that, you know what it will require to have that experience. If I do a swimming lesson, that will require to put a bathing suit and to immerse myself into water and to require the movements to have the experience. And that is the same thing. So whatever you're going through, whatever you don't know what to do, it's just the opportunity for you to make that effort. That is yourself working your light to learn that you can do that. Or maybe that you don't want to do that. So you want to do something else. It's just the experience. It's just the pathway. But it's not, because I don't think no one is in here to suffer. Not even kids when they have cancer. I think we get poisoned by the ones who bring us to the world. And whatever things are around us when we're kids. And then at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you may have some karma anchored to you. Because it was in the field when you were around. And then that's it. I remember once, I went into a party and they were smoking weed. I wasn't smoking weed. I didn't like it. I hate the smell. It's disgusting for me. But just because I was in the same place, not very close, but just near the ones smoking weed, I began to see a lot of things. I began to hallucinate. And I knew it was my time to leave because I didn't resonate with that. I wasn't doing it, but I was in a place. So the place contaminated me, let's say. And I'm saying that that's right or wrong, but it doesn't feel right for me. It do not feel right for me because I don't think I need it. But I think it's perfectly fine for the ones who use it for healing or for whatever purposes. So even when you do things right, the collective can infect you. And you can chill a lot of times. But it's the rules here. It's the work. The work is not meditation. The work, it won't be speaking language of the light. The work is going to be patient, having faith when nothing proves is going to be right. Be brave when you are weak. Feeling abundant when you don't have money. That is the work. And we will have tools. Tools to work the light. The tools it is that maybe you are patient, that maybe you are strong, that maybe you are a good healer, that maybe you have good intuition, that maybe you do light language. But you don't always work the light when you meditate or have clients. You work the light your whole time. Or you work your darkness. When you are with your family, with your kids, when you drive, when you go out, when you watch the news, when you are with yourself. Because it's part of the experience. So what I want you guys to do today is to choose to work your light. Set a plan. Change just one thing. And then this course will be worth it. Something that's easy for you. Something that will shift. Maybe it doesn't shift in a week or in a month. But for me, I can say that, saying my higher self, you are in charge. Along this 7 years, oh God, now I can see that it was a great benefit. So just one thing. If you're not disciplined in your light, then it won't work. And then you see a lot of light workers that you see like, is that a psychic? Because you work your light through your example. This is what I believe. Or when you trust someone that is advising you something that is not living that, I don't think so. A long time ago, I used to work in a restaurant. It was a lot of work and it was a lot of hours. I was a waiter. I was in my 20s. I was super skinny. We're all super skinny because we're just running the whole thing. And we just eat quesadillas and Cheetos and things like that, right? We're young people. So you just don't eat a lot. You don't eat a lot. You have a lot of energy. You just go out, sleep at 6, at 9, you're at work, fresh, right? One of the team members, she was a little bit fat and chubby, and she was always offering this supplement milkshake that it was help us to lose weight. And we always laugh at her and said, her name was Veronica. Veronica, drink the shakes first, get thin, and then sell it. It wasn't logical that she would say something she wasn't doing for herself, because we saw her drinking them, but she was not skinny. And it's not about being skinny or not, it's about being coherent with what you do. And this is something that is not easy. I have been there, and I always go there and go there and go there. And I want you to reflect that you don't have to do that anyone says you should do. Not even me. Do what feels right for you. Choose a platform toward your light. Just one. Or Facebook, or YouTube, or Instagram, or TikTok, or you don't even have to be in social media. You can do it in your own community, with your neighbors, or in a community that you do. In some years, I don't even know if we'll have social media. And I don't think we can predict that, guys. Because right now, everything is moving and moving and moving. In 26, we'll have a shift. That is something major that will shift next year, November, September, October, I'm not sure. And then everything, it will be like when you throw a dice and you don't know what number is going to land. And what I want you to think is, I believe all predictions will be available for whoever believes they want to experience. But it will be bold to predict, okay, this is going to happen. Because with this mindset, we cannot discern what will be in 2027 or 28 or 2030. I don't think so. Because the world will be different. This is something that I think it will. I have no idea how different it will be, but I know it's going to be better. Do you think in the 1400s, they will believe we'll have cell phones in airplanes? I'm sure they will saw that. They will thought you just make witchcraft and put someone inside your phone. Because their mind wasn't capable or available to figure out we'll have internet and a lot of things we have right now, and AI and blah, blah, blah. So whoever predicts, including me, about how is the underworld and heaven and hell and the spirit world and Pleiadians and 7th dimension and blah, blah, blah. We don't know. You just assume for what comes through and what you have read and what you're learning, what comes through. But we don't know because we don't have that mind. We just humanize and download the information on what you think it can be applied. So it's important that you learn what to discern, what beliefs you want to purchase and what beliefs you said doesn't apply for me. No thanks. Because what we believe, we become energetically. I was doing a session yesterday, right? The person was asking me a lot of things. I had my third eye open. When we were talking about trees, we were trees. We're talking about reptilians, we look like reptilians. We're talking about dead ones. And then the dead member that we were asking just appeared like, what's going on? And I was like, God, if I would remember that everything I said, I become, I would be more mindful with my words. I would be more mindful about what we listen. Because even though when the person was talking about reptilians and I saw we become reptilians in our aura, and I wanted to shut the person, I tried to hold myself because I need to be polite. But I debated myself. Should I just end the call? Should I just hold the space? And then I stopped panicking, and then I breathed, and then I said, okay, angels come. When I said angels come, I just become angels, even though the person will still be speaking about reptilians, because the energy of the angels override the lower frequency that we were resonating with. When you do a healing, every time you speak with someone, you will match the same frequency. It's important to be selective about what you do, but also into the environments and the persons that you connect with. There are some persons that you cannot teletransport, even if we want it, but we can choose how to engage with them, or we can choose to change environment. When you change, everyone change. And I had that. You don't have to tell them to do, because it's annoying when someone tries to change you. But your example will inspire them to change. And even in opposite beliefs, you can find something that you can agree with. And I think this is why we're here collectively. You can see in Lightworkers Facebook groups, or Instagram or YouTube, with people fight and make very mean comments that you said, oh my God, how this can be possible. And just forget all of your knowledge and politeness and go in a very lower state by making a very dirty comment, and what you're going to gain for it. I was watching a video for a podcast about neurology. Normally, persons that comment there are professionals, persons with education, maybe with high level of income. And I love it, I learned a lot. But the person had Mark Zuckerberg as an invited. Persons begin to behave as if they were in a cantina, in a bar with hookers. I was like, what's going on? We're the same guys. We have been for a year and a half. We're all the same knowledge people. What's going on? Everyone, every single comment was as if, I don't know, it was something about Hollywood or whatever. Everyone plays their education into the trash and just become this nonsense. This is wear your shoes, how to see that. I could engage and add a comment, but I said to myself, I can't believe someone like Mark Zuckerberg or whoever persons you don't like. I'm not saying that he's something that you should admire, can turn me into darkness just because what I reflect into that person. And this is what I think masters have. The capacity to hold on to you, to your anchor, to what you believe, to what you think it should be, no matter what. I was watching an interview for, I don't remember his name. I think he's the one who wrote the book Rich Father, Poor Father, right? He was saying that he doesn't have money. All the money he earns as a millionaire, he invested. So he just multiplied his money constantly. So the person I interview with a very fearful mindset says, but do you trust the economic system? Don't you know we're going to go into the hardest regression from the whole history of Earth? What if you lose your money? And then he says, instantly, well, then I will write a book about how to go out about being bankrupt. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking amazing. He did not even got unstable or feel attacked or anything. He just found a solution like that. And then I said, this is what an abundance mindset is. You can see a lot of people teach you to law of attraction. Maybe you don't even have the money to do that, right? But I said, God, I can see the coherence inside, right? In those statements. And this is what I think it's important for us to have. As a light worker, as a person that will love to work, giving someone else's advices and healing and inspire them to change. And you don't have to do that by forcing it, but sometimes making the effort and pushing yourself a little bit to listen to yourself and say, okay, what I can do to make my life better so my life feels more fulfilling. Because it's not about the likes or how much you're going to have. It's about that you feel complete. And at the end, I think it's the whole mission about being in Earth School. That you graduate and you don't have to be hooked coming again and again and again and again to forgive your mom because it was so painful to do this right now, to have the relationship you wanted, the money you wanted, the profession you wanted. I don't want to. I don't have a problem if I come back. Because it won't be me. It won't be Gretel. It will be another version of me. So in a way, this is the only life. I will be me. If this is the only life, I want to, whatever day I die, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a decade, maybe when I'm out wrinkle, I want to say it was worth it. It was worth it, the effort. It was worth it, the hard times. It was worth it, the conflict, the pain, the sorrows. Because I had this and this and this and this and this. And I can say, I feel contentment or complete, or it was okay. So I don't leave things because it was so hard to do. I couldn't do it. So my kids can do it, and my grandkids and whoever else, because I can deal with that. It's just so painful. Do your work. But your work is not only about going into the shadow and forcing it. It's also about feeling that you are okay no matter what you do. That you will be working your life when you feel in alignment, when you feel coherent. It's about going with your flow, but also knowing, the more you know yourself, the more you know the good things you have and the things that are workable. You know how to work with the ingredients of you, like when you play Monopoly, for example. When you play Monopoly, everyone will have a strategy to earn it, right? Some people just keep the money, others purchase a lot of things. Depending on the strategy that you have, is going to create the algorithm in which who is going to win, because only one can win. But the strategy change according to the conditions. Maybe in one game it was helpful to purchase everything. Do you want to purchase this? Oh yes, I want to, and add another house, and I want a hotel now. But maybe in another game that didn't work. because maybe no one ever got into my rentals, and then I got without money, so I lose because the conditions were different. This consciousness is the consciousness of the mind, what we are entering. Huge advances, new discoveries, the era of knowledge, all in the air, starting I think for 25 or 26, I don't remember. We are still on Earth Kingdom, but I think that's going to end, I think it's November 24. It's not the same to travel driving on a boat than to do it on air, right? If I go from where I live, I think I am like 6 hours driving to Sedona. If I drive from where I live to Mexico City, that will be 36 hours without stopping. That's a lot, and it's painful and it's dangerous. So I may not even get there. But if I go in airplane, I do it in an hour and a half, 2 hours. That's different. Just vision that all things you do, all things, relationship, work, money, intentions will change its own time frame into instant. Like if you go from where you are to France, how long would it take to do it in a boat or in a car? Or how long would it take for you to do it in a plane? That's a huge difference. So prepare yourself, because if you are not ready for what's coming, whatever we choose, because right now we're playing Monopoly. Each agenda, it's a different strategy about how to get there, right? Some people choose to be whole, others choose to go diversity, right? Others were choosing to go spiritual, other science, others seclude into its own communities. But at the end, a blending of every condition from every strategy, from every frequency, from every vibration will choose what will unfold. Honestly, I don't think we know, because I have seen different futures, right? And then I said to myself, okay, so because I saw that, I clear it. So I don't think that will happen, right? Because otherwise, well, it makes sense that I am seeing that. So I kind of have some inner knowings, as if for some reason I kind of know what I need to do, but I don't have facts. So I'm trusting that and I'm going to the flow. But it's not easy, because we're moving into the mind kingdom. You're thinking, you cannot see your thinking, right? You sense that. So am I, but barely we can see what we think. But we feel, because we're on Earth Kingdom. But that's gonna end November 24. And then we have, we're going to move to Earth from November 24 until 2043. That's a lot. I may not be alive. I have no idea. And then we're going to change, and I have no idea where we'll go. But if you are not ready, because we need to learn to ground into the nothing. You need to learn to have your own facts to say, this is where we're going, and that is going to be the solution, and I'm gonna bend for it, and so be it. Regardless of the news, regardless with the astrology, regardless with whatever. Because you have to create your own strategy, and that is going to be part of your light work. Being a healer is going to be needed. Being a reader, or in whatever area, like light language or your other techniques you want to apply it, it's going to be needed. Because we may have things we're not ready yet, or haven't envisioned, like, how many of you knew COVID was coming before COVID came? I had no idea. I remember we were all worried about the fires in Australia. And it was like, oh my God, poor koalas, blah, blah, blah. And then COVID, I was like, I feel like this topic is scenario. Like it was not even real. Like I was inside of a conspiracy theory. I was like, pandemic? Like what's going on? Is it real? Is real people dying? I mean, I couldn't believe it. But after COVID, everything changed. And after, we are already in the ascension. And what I wanted to do, what I would love to inspire you is to get ready to regenerate your consciousness, to know that what you knew and maybe what was written in the Law of One and on the Kabbalion maybe doesn't apply anymore. Because this is air kingdom. It's new. No one ascended before. No one had galactics and AI and lots of things all in once before. This is a new thing. So imagine that we're like Colon when it was saying to everyone, there is some land, we're going to go to India, right? And then Queen Isabel gave him the goal. Okay, I trust you, I believe you because it's going to be good for Europe. But was he certain? I don't think so. I think he bet for him and said, I will do that because I think it is and I will risk it and so be it. And since he didn't know and he wasn't certain that when he landed to Puerto Rico or Cuba, I don't remember, he thought it was India. Because he risked it. And I'm sure he was like, oh, right? Because we all have seen the movies. But imagine that right now we are Kim and all other explorers that are from England and France said, let's go. Earth may not be plain anymore. Let's go to see what we can find into near Earth, right? So then America was near Earth. And if you see the movies or the series, America, I think especially US, I don't know if it's because of Hollywood, but maybe because they were the ones that got it rightfully in comparison to Mexico and all of the others, that it took later to wake up from the dream that they needed to rise and said, this is our goal, this is our land, we should be the ones in charge, not someone that comes from another land and take our things, right? We are right now like if someone come and tell us what we need to do. And in this metaphor, you can think the Illuminati, the Cabal, it doesn't matter. It's the system that it's imposed, the system that favors that you have money, or that you work and never have it, or that you pay a lot from going into the hospital for things that you don't need it. It's the system that is not fair, right? So this system, maybe it's in benefit of 1%, 2%, I have no idea, but what about the others? What about the others? Imagine from all of the years, regardless if you're in Europe or in Australia or in US or in Canada or in America, why in all of those centuries, even beyond the discovery of America, no one has ever said this should stop? But this is because we're not aware of it, because we're not united. Because if one says this should stop, like Martin Luther King, he is killed, right? He was. Why? Because the unity is what makes difference. So I want to remember this. Between collective and you, collective wins. Because if collective wants to manifest a war that is going to last, and I'm just saying this hypothesis, 5 or 6 years between Israel and Palestine, and many countries may get entangled, then even if you said, I don't think so, one between global gets nulled because this wins, like COVID, or like having a hurricane or a storm where you live. You didn't manifest it, but so be it, you are there, so you got contaminated, let's say. But also, one person with strong determination, you can create a change. And I'm not saying that we should be Martin Luther King or Gandhi, but if they did it, many persons can do it. But this is another era. This is an era that the universe says everyone can speak. Go on YouTube, go on TikTok, do whatever you want to. Make your voice be heard. And you are going to see persons of every race and level doing things. How many millionaires are doing podcasts? Do you think they need that? I don't think so. But I'm sure they love it because they're good attention and blah, blah, blah. But do you think before COVID, millionaires thought, I should do podcasts? No, but the world changed, right? So, persons that are Christians or in tribes or childs, or a lot of persons do a lot of crafty things, everyone can go and have voice. And there's a lot of nonsense. And there's a lot of fun things too. And there's a lot of things that you said, oh my God, should I worry? Because if this is the collective, we're fucked up, isn't it? But there are also persons that are doing amazing things that I said, oh my God, that's so genius. I never thought about doing that. And being genius, having solutions, being innovations, being strong, being someone that can support the ones next to you, regardless if you have likes or not, or whatever, is going to be the solution, because the difference between what happened before on Earth and what we are choosing to have right now is what we can do. And what we can do begins within. Between me and my body, my soul, my spirit, my past, my future, and when I unified. I know persons, thank God to this job, and I have been there. And I think I took myself a little bit into that stage to shoot down my ego, to ground all aspects of me, because I wanted to be coherent. And that desire was so strong that whenever it wasn't real in me, it disappeared. And then I was like, God, now what I'm going to do? I had to start over. But now I see the goodness of it. Even when you think things are wrong and you are forced to do things you don't want to, because it's effort. Because it requires that you learn something new, that you do something new. But when you do it, life will reward it in some way. The first time, I remember, I received an email. I received a message from Sandra Walter once, and she said, Grethel, I love your codes. I want you to do some codes for me. And I was like, is this a scam? Right? And I was like, is this possible? I don't believe it. And then she said, do you want me to pay for those, or you want to have free courses? And I said, no, just free courses, whatever. I was honored to do some codes for her for one of her courses. And then she said, I will put you in the notes that you give the codes. And I was like, I want to tell everyone, but I just suck because I said, I would just do it for my ego. So I just told the ones that really love me and know me and said, do you really want someone that I really admire? Send me an email. And then I'm doing some codes for her. And that's so fucking amazing. And those moments validate, regardless if people know or don't know, or you didn't put it into your biography, validate that you are doing some things right, and that is worth it. But that had prices. You always heard that magic has a price. The price is that when I began Encoded Frequency, a year, I lost all of my friends. We were on a shot. We were practicing, doing Reiki, whatever someone knows, we will make videos and then practice it on each other for a year. I love them. We're soulmates. I had friends that I said, oh my God, you were my husband in that life. Oh yeah, right? We just love each other. And I learned a lot from them, a lot. The most greater awesome channelings with Galactics started in that chat I had for a year. But when I began to have likes in the page, I had a lot of likes. It was just like 3,000 or something. Then I couldn't be friends with it anymore. And it was very sad. It was heartbreaking. For me, it was as if I was broken with a boyfriend. Because we're talking every day in video. But then they begin saying like, why do you have 3,000 likes? I have been doing this for 20 years and I only have 1,000. And they were my friends. And I would just say like, okay. And then in another day, someone would says, you don't even have website. Why do you have likes? And I was like, I don't care about the likes, right? You don't even have YouTube channel. You don't even have a team. And I was like, I don't know, right? And then they begin to send me all of the wrong things I had because my English is not perfect. I have dyslexia. So because I have dyslexia, I see things right. And they are written wrong. Like, for example, twice I... in a post, wrote chat instead of shift. And so that is funny, right? I was like, oh God, so sorry. I'm just gonna fix it. And then that's it. But it's part of the things that I have been working. But something that will hold us from going back is that one of the prices that maybe you can have is that persons that are with you cannot tolerate that you are successful. But people can tolerate when you are a mess because we can just patch each other. Oh my God, my partner is cheating on me. Oh my God, mine cheat all the time. Those bastards, right? When you are in a mess, then everyone can resonate with you, and then it feels good because if I'm just messy and my friend is messy, then I'm not that wrong because everyone is messy, so it's not of my fault. I don't have to do anything different. But when someone does something different, then people is reminded or what you can do but you're not doing. And this is not about whatever you reflect into others, but know that the first thing about doing something that you want to do, regardless of the likes or not, but that will be different from the persons that know, it is that you will become being a mirror for things. Sometimes people will say, I will choose to do different things, so I become a better version of it. Some people will admire you. That doesn't belong to you. You only belong that you feel coherent and happy, and that you learn to validate what you do, regardless of whatever people can comment or do or anything. Because when you do that, and I was there the first year, you lose yourself. Because everyone will be a judge of whatever you do. Like the comments on the video with Mark Zuckerberg, because everyone mirrors him and want to choose different scenarios for whatever he does. I don't like him. I think he looks so alien. But I can understand some of the restrictions because I was an admin in a big group. And sometimes you need to say to people, no, I'm going to take that down. Those are my codes. But they look satanic. And people is complaining. And then someone will say, I don't care. It's my right to say whatever I want to do. Right? And then you have to mediate between what is right for one and what can be not right for many. And that's not easy. That's not an easy thing to do, because who has the right to say what should be in a social media and what it doesn't? Because you become God. And I didn't like it. I hate it. I learned a lot. I wasn't from here that I said, fuck, I'm not doing this anymore. But then I learned and says, we need to have some restrictions. It's a good thing. Because not everyone in the spiritual community is mindful, it's kind. There are people with all kinds of interest. And people can be naive and take advantage of it. So if you have a place, you sort of need to have certain rooms, making it safe, clearing that space, clearing that area, because light will attract darkness. And it's a normal thing. It's natural. It's not something for you to be scared. I just want you to know that in whatever way you choose to do your mission, do it, embrace it. Ask yourself, what I am willing to do? What I am willing to do for my dream? And that thing matches my dream. Is that the version of me that I want people to remember, that I want to remember myself? Would I feel proud of that? Because I ask those things when people have offered things for me to do. And sometimes I have to say, no, thank you. Because I don't think that resonates with me. It's not the version of me that I want to do. Because sometimes I have done what Encoded Frequency has asked me to do, and then I said, I don't like it because it's not me. And sometimes you will debate about what you should do and what you shouldn't. But that's okay, because it's part of you knowing what version you want to be. It's like there are a lot of things from spirituality, but at some point you have to choose your area. And this is the first step that I think you should take from all of the things that are out there. Do I want to be a reader? Do I want to do codes? Do I want to be a healer? Choose that and master it. Because we can do a lot of things, but you have to become a master in one thing that you learn, that you have expertise. I have chosen that for me is my art. It's what I love to do the most, because I can do a lot of things. But when I'm drawing and then when I have the sessions with you, I love it, because the connection, many of you become my friends, and I think like we help each other, and that's precious. And I love that. And I have said to myself, even if they don't pay me, I will love to do it, and I will find a way to do it, because I fucking love it, because it feels meaningful. The likes or Encoded Frequency, that's just a tool to get there. But you have to know how big, how small, and constantly ask yourself how you want to rekindle that way and how you want to do that. And you will try some things and you will say, I don't think so. And maybe you will try other things and then you will say, oh my God, I really like it. I didn't know that was going to be a good thing. So dare yourself to do new things. But this energy asks for us to do it from your uniqueness, to do it from what you No. What is your mastery? Your facts. Whether you do candles, or you do art, or you do healer, or you do astrology, or whatever. Talking about what you do, because you are that. And then people will feel inspired to you, regardless of the number. Don't get hooked on any of that, because that, it doesn't matter anymore. The algorithm don't care about likes or anything. They just disregard them. It's not videos, but it's videos with certain things. But how long videos are going to be in trend? We don't know, a year, 2, 3, and then something else will come. So I think this energy requires us to ask, how do I want to do that? In fact, many light workers are not on social media. And I think for me, I like that community outside of social media, and that social media just complements what you do, because I think it's more organic. Regardless that maybe your community will just be 50 persons or 20 or 10 or 100 and not 20,000 like in social media, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the likes. Actually, there is a book that is called, I don't remember how it's called, but it's about that having 1,000 followers that really appreciate you and stand out for you and connect with you is more worth it than having 1,000,000 followers. So don't fall in that thing, because many persons that have a lot of likes and that are doing a lot of things that you see have a group of persons creating that scene as if they do all of that. And other persons have paid followers and things to have what it's appear as if they are embracing. So don't fall for that. Look for 2, 3, 4, 5 persons that you resonate, that you think, I like that role model. I like to do that, and observe that person has coherence with the life that it has. Because what is outside of the light work will give you if that person is coherent with what is coming through or not. But also, auto-regenerate your consciousness. Do it from your own area and give yourself the capacity to keep thinking what you can do. And you can start for a simple thing. I began doing Reiki and readings with cards, and I was giving donations. I did not have encoded frequency, nothing psychic. I wasn't promoting. I was just doing for my friends. And it was a start. And sometimes I will finish Reiki and I had all the attachments in me. But it was a way in which I learned and I had experience, and that is precious. So start now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. You are now ready, because Louise Hay, if I'm reading her biography rightfully, she started around her 60s. And she turned herself into a millionaire just because at that time she was ready. So if you are here, it's because you want to go the next level. But that next level, what will require you? Who does what you want to do? And what that person is doing and how is doing it. And just observe around. Not to compare yourself and say, I don't have that body or that age or whatever, but just to see what are they doing that I am not doing, that this is why they have what they have and I have what I have. And then make the effort. But the effort needs to be constant. Because I'm going to go back to where I started. What if you will go throughout your day like when you meditate, that you feel like a unicorn? Imagine how different your life will be if every day you will just be like a marshmallow, right? And even if persons come with swords or things, they would just jump because you're all softy and comfy and gentle and sweet. And maybe the sword will get stuck into your sweetness, and then you won't be affected because you will be initiating the trend of energy that will set the frequency into where you are. Tomorrow we're going to do the attunement. Let me know so I don't take a lot of time of you. If you want to have like 10 minutes live with me in the video for us to do light language together, or I do it on behalf of you. And I'm working on something that if I have it done by tomorrow, I will send it before the call, and if I don't have, after. Think it's like a gift. But ask yourself with honesty how you can work your light, because maybe your light can be worked because you have a family and you have kids or a husband or something to take care of, and maybe that is the healing way you are doing it. But if you want to work with persons, how you want to do it, what are going to be your services, and if you are already doing it, what I am missing to do so I am not what I want to be. And then what I need to do to get there. Wake up early, study more, practice, believe I can, just go ahead and do it. What I am missing. So when someone says, but the economy is going to fall, don't you know? Why are you putting all that money? Says, then I will do a book about it. So be it. That means that this person is so abundant, it doesn't see any conflict by whatever is happening in the collective. I'm gonna be okay because I have it, because I trust myself, because I'm so confident and I believe I can do that, but I don't worry about anything that others can do. And for me, that's alignment. And I think this is the energy that Gandhi must have had, and Jesus must have had, and Buddha must have had, and Saint Germain, and Martin Luther King, and all of those persons that we just look and admire because they had something that inspired, that motivate a change when they were visionaries. And many of the people thought they were crazy, like Golan. I'm sure many persons said, no, we're gonna fucking die if we go there. The earth is plane, don't you know? Right? That's nothing. But sometimes being crazy and sometimes believing in you and believing in your vision, that can channel the solutions. That can channel a new way to be for all of us. Because when they discover America, the whole world changed, the whole Europe, the dynamic of the world changed. And changed for better because people had more choices. They could come, they could go, they could do different things. We begin to learn. Animals begin to shift plans, foods, traditions. They begin to hybridize. and this is us reminding and going back how important community is. Now that we're going to go into the Aquarian era, it's all about community. So make sure what you do, it is an answer for something your community your community need. And this is something that I ask myself, why am I going to post this? Why am I going to do this? Because I think it has meaning for me that I do what feels right, regardless of whatever the collective likes or don't like, because I have learned sometimes I get surprised. Sometimes I see a post that says, I don't know, 900 likes, and I'm like, what's going on? Right? And sometimes I think I'm putting something very inspirational and then it's just pass. So don't get entangled with the validation that you have for others. You can get feedback And you can observe if maybe there's something that you can learn, because we can always improve. I believe that. But validate yourself. And regardless of whatever is going to arise, and not everyone is going to have predictions for next year and blah, 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 blah. Know that we are choosing it. Those are tendencies that we can change because of what we believe. But something that I know, the world will be different. I cannot describe to you how much different it will be. I have my ideas that maybe I have shared with the ones that know me, but I really don't know how it's going to be. But I know that if this is the time to make myself ready. I feel as if I graduated from university and now you said, fuck, now I need to go to work. I cannot depend on my mom and dad anymore, right? Because when you're a teenager, you can allow yourself to make mistakes. You can get drunk, not go early, I don't have to study or whatever, because you're a teenager and people said to you, you're young, you're on the age that you can just explore, because you think you know everything and you have all the solutions. And then your first love is going to be the one that you just leave forever, right? That first kiss or whatever. We have all of those dreams and then you believe in them. So you do a lot of mistakes because you don't have the experience, and it's okay. But this is the time that I think Earth is changing from being adolescent to be an adult. And now I think we're called to ask ourselves, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do for my world, for my city, for my family, for my economy, for whatever, for my space, for my sanity, for my journey. And this is birthing the Christ in all of us, whatever you call it, through obedience, through mindfulness, through whatever you feel guided. This is why that language is so amazing, because it takes the barriers of what I think it is and what you think it is and what the other think it is, and we can all connect to the soul. And that's precious. Sometimes I tag the persons in China and we barely understand each other, but we speak the soul, and then I said, "Us enough." I have a lot of clients from France or from places I don't even know what language they exist. But as long as we speak the soul, we can communicate. And that's a beautiful thing, because it takes you into a level that you see similarity in someone that is so different to you, and you can just bond and say like, that was magical. And that's worth it. That's why I love light language. Not everyone is ready for light language, but it's growing and growing and growing. And I think that language is the technique of New Earth, because it works at all levels of your consciousness. It just bypasses the mind. You don't need to know, you don't need to figure it out, you don't need to have your procedures. You just tune in, embrace it, and be calm, and then so be it. And that is a beautiful thing, because we're learning, I think, through light language, to go back like when we were a kid. I remember once I saw a beautiful soap. It was pink and it has the shape of a flower. I thought it was candy. I was little, I think I was a toddler. And I remember that my mom or someone grabbed me and says, "Don't eat it. It's in candy, it's soap." And I don't think I was speaking. I have no idea. But I looked and I said, it looks tasty, it looks beautiful, I'm gonna eat it. I will just ignore you. And I bite it. When I bite it, I want to throw up. It tastes disgusting. The smell was beautiful, but it was disgusting. And I learned my lesson. And then I said, okay, not all that is beautiful and look tasty, it is tasty. Definitely this wasn't. And that was my check. Right? Yes. So give yourself the opportunity to make mistakes and be bold and trust yourself. And that error and things that you do assertive will teach you, will show you where you should be. Something that I know it is, things that are meant for you to have come to you without you asking them. And it's like, oh, I may need that sign, right? Or, oh, I wasn't asking for a date, but so be it. Or whatever. They just come to you. You don't have to get them. You don't have to force them. Observe your doors open. Go from your authenticity. Ask yourself, just to summarize, and then we just can talk tomorrow. What you're amazing to do for yourself that is going to take you into the vision of the person that you want to be this lead worker, to be at service. And just put it out there. Answers will come to you, doors will open, resources will come, because if you're here, it's because you are ready to go into the next step. But then when you know what is the little effort, the little change, the little shift, you have to do and do and do, even when it's painful or uncomfortable or hard, will take you into where you want to be, then do it. Initiate and keep it there. See you guys tomorrow. Take what you think it was worth it. Reflect on the rest. Put it out there and ask for the answers to come to you, the doors, the resources, for the universe to open the doors so you can work your light, and all the persons that come to you are the ones that are ready to receive your wisdom, what you already know before today. What you already know because of what you live, because of what you do, because of what you are, because of what you have learned. And I hope that this comes to you from the best part of me, from my consciousness. And as you receive it from the best part of you. You can integrate what serves for you, what is in divine order, what is rightful. And in you can just multiply and go back to my consciousness, or into whatever it needs to go in reciprocity, into the person that you're going to heal, that you're going to change your worlds, that you're going to see and are going to say, what is that? What is that person is doing? See you guys tomorrow. Let me know tomorrow if you want to be with me in the camera, and if done, I will do the light language anyway. And send me an email, any question or anything, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you.